Nancy Burt-Preece here, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Here's all my contact information. You can take a screenshot. I'll leave it up here. Today we are casing a card from Connie Stewart from a few years back. And I really like this because I wanted to use some colored pencils this time, which I haven't used recently, and blender pens. And I also wanted to make this in case you wanted it to be an anniversary card, or I'm also going to have a wedding sentiment. So let's get started. The stamp sets we're using are Gallery Blooms for these two and Blooming Phrases. We are also using colored pencils, Memento ink, and Granny Apple. And I might do something different. Instead of the leaves, I might do a leaf and maybe a flower on this one. I'm not sure. We'll see what I'm going to do. I might change my mind. So I'm going to start my card base, and I actually have this wrong. Mine is actually 4 1/4 by 11. It's the same card. It opens just a little different, but it's the same exact size. This fresh freesia I'm also using for 4 7/8 and 3 1/2. I have a piece of basic white 4 by 5. And I have my inside white 4 by 5 1/4. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start, move this just a little bit, and I'm going to tear towards myself. And you want a nice, you like a nice torn edge. Makes it interesting. It's an easy technique. People are afraid, but if you tear towards yourself, you usually have quite a bit of success, and it just makes it interesting. So I'm going to put that on the front. Just kind of lining it up on that edge, on these 3 sides. Then I'm going to go ahead and put this 4 7/8 by 3 1/4 piece on next. Once again, I'm lining up. Wait a minute, do I have this? 3 1/4 by 4 7/8. I do. I must have torn this one in a little bit. Well, I'm going to let it go. So it's a little interest there too. Now, for my focal image, I'm going to move this to the side. And I'm going to stamp it in Memento ink. And I'm stamping this image, which is the flower image. Now, when I first stamped this, it didn't stamp very well. So I used a paper sander and sanded the top of this a little bit. And now it's stamping much better. So that's a little tip. The other thing is, you notice I have the stamp upside down and I'm inking it. That's a great way to get ink all over. I'm going to go straight up and down, lining it up as good as I can, pushing, don't rock, and I'm going to bring it straight up, and I have a beautiful image. Now, the next thing I'm going to use is some of my colored pencils. Now, I noticed that I wasn't using them a lot. And one of my team members used them recently on a card. My team member, Sally, and I went, oh my gosh, I haven't used those in a long time. So it was time to bring them out. So I'm starting with Gorgeous Grape just to get a little interest in the middle. You notice I'm just kind of scribbling. I'm not doing a whole lot of real interesting thing there. I'm going to do the same thing, light scribble. This is a fresh freesia. Just to get some ink on there, and I'll show you what we're going to do with our blender pen in a minute. Even though I do tend to use blends a lot, colored pencils are very economical, and they're a great coloring tool that sometimes I forget. So it was a good reminder for me. Bring them out. Now I'm going to take, this is Granny Apple Green, to give myself a little bit of greenery there. Okay, so I've got color on all the parts. Now I'm going to use a blending brush. And blending brushes, when you buy a package of 3, they last, I swear to goodness, I've had some of mine for 20 years. They have something inside of them that really helps blend the colored pencils. So just kind of scribble it so it's clear. And then it just makes it a little bit darker. It blends the color a little bit. So see, I've got purple on there. I'm going to keep scribbling till it comes clear. Now I'm going to go to the pink. Make sure you scribble in between. If not, you might get, although I don't mind, and I just went into the purple, so I got a little purple over there. I don't mind that, but if you want them to be separate, don't touch the purple. So it's an easy technique. It just helps to make your lines look a little bit stronger. I'm going to come back and do just a little bit with the green. You notice it's just blending it a little bit. Blending some of those lines I used. And it's a very quick technique. Isn't that pretty? And it just gives you a really pastel-y look. Now, the next thing I'm going to do to make this a wow card is I'm going to bring my paper trimmer. And if you come to one of my July classes, you'll have to do this too. And I'll be there to help. You just put it in at 1.5, cut, and don't let it stick like mine did. And then if you put this in at 1.5 right next, you notice they're all 1.5 inches. So that's the beauty. They all match up, and it should be easy to figure out what goes where. So I'm bringing this back in, and I'm not going to adhere anything. So once again, if you don't like this coming over a little bit, maybe tear a little bit less. I'm really okay with that. I think it's an artsy look. I'm going to kind of lay them out, and I will put some dimensionals behind. So this isn't a hard card, but it is a wow card. And I love that the word celebrate, because I'll have a wedding sentiment for those people that want wedding cards and those people that want anniversary cards. It's a really nice sentiment. Celebrate can go for anything. You could even put happy birthday on the inside. So I'm kind of getting a sense. I'm going to leave just a little bit, kind of trying to line it up. I'm not going to push it down yet, because if I push it down, then if I need to take it up, that's a problem. So I'm just coming back through and getting a sense. And I have to like be quiet, I guess, when I'm doing that. And that's not like me, if you know me. Let me come back through. So I'm using Fresh Freesia Gorgeous Grape, Granny Apple Green, and then I'm going to use Petunia Pop for my ribbon. All right, now I'm going to kind of get a sense if I need to move any of these. This one in the middle I might move up just a little. Since I didn't push it down, it hasn't stuck much. So I can just kind of move it up just a smidge. So when I'm happy with my placement, I'll go ahead and push those down. And I'll get my dimensional papers and just move them to the side. Okay. So now what I did is I took a 3-inch by 1/2-inch piece and I stamped Celebrate. And I'm not gonna pop it up because I already have a lot of dimension on the card. So I'm just going to glue that. I tried to stamp it on top, it just didn't look right for me. So I'm going to have strips, and I'm just kind of pointing it down here. It's the same size as the white, if I can get that off there. So that is what my outside looks like. My inside, and I'll come back and put the ribbon on in a minute. This time, instead of putting the green leaves, I don't know if I'm going to like this. This is a flower. I could put kind of a fresh freesia. Let me get a little block. I'm going to try it, and then we'll see. Do we like the fresh freesia flower? I don't know. We'll find out. Now this one, I might put a little bit underneath. I don't know. So, you know, tell me in the comments, what do you like best? I think I like the leaves, but I'm not real sure. This one just doesn't look right underneath, and it didn't look right going right. You know what? I'm turning it over. Have you ever done that? My people that come to my class are like, oh, golly, I made a mistake. Oh, turn it over. It's not a problem. So let's try her again and see what we want. So I'm coming back to use my Memento. I'm going to do the happy. Now, here's what I'm wondering. I'm going to try to be creative, and we might not like this either, but we'll see. I'm going to get another block for the word anniversary. Oops, I got hello there. That wouldn't work. Let me get anniversary. And I'm going to put it on the block. Make sure I have it inked up. And I'm going to go like this. Weird, but true. We'll see if I like it. I don't know. So I'm going to put the flower here. And I'll put a flower here. I think I like that better. You could put it down here too. Where would you put the anniversary? You could put it that way. You know, we could discuss that all day, right? But I think I like that. So I'm going to give options if you come to one of my July classes. And if you're creating it yourself, you have lots of options on how to do that inside. Instead of putting the other flower image, I just did that. And then I'm going to adhere this to my card base. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this is on the last chance list. So if you like this Fresh Freesia ribbon, I would get it soon because it will sell out. And I'm just making a loop and I'm going to pull it. Then I'm going to take my ribbon scissors and just kind of cut it off the ribbon there. And I'm going to take a glue dot. How do you use a glue dot? You take a glue dot like this, put your ribbon in it, push it down. That way you're not touching. And you know, I did it on the kind of the wrong side. Should have done it on the nicer looking side, but that's okay. And I'm going to come back through, trim it up, trim it up. And you've got a really neat card for a wedding or anniversary. So I hope you tried this technique. And I still got junk on my paper, which is so easy to do. All you're doing is cutting your image, and it makes a wow. I hope you have a great day.